Peace, family. Vicki Dillard here for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're so pleased that you're with us today. Be sure to give us a big thumbs up and share the broadcast with you. Thank you so very much. Family, some of you may have heard there is so much outrage really around the planet and very deep concern that Kenya is sending their police, their security forces into Haiti. We know that there has been an absolutely diabolical, nonstop agenda, of course, against all Black people and Black nations throughout the diaspora, but for sure in Haiti. We're very, 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 very aware of the diabolical agenda that has continued to plague that country. Well, it's so concerning now that reports are showing that Kenya is sending about 1,000 of their security or their police there. And of course, this was basically approved by the UN. There's been a whole lot of pushback in so many different parts of the world. In the wake of all of these changes around the world, a lot of the Caucasian soldiers have been losing their lives, and white folks are really being outraged by this. Why? In part, particularly in the United States, the latest census was not good news. It shows that there is a severe and precipitous decline in their population. You had Joe Biden 2 months out from his oath of office. After he officially learned that he would become the president of the United States, he was just waiting for that January to take the oath of office. He was forced to have a meeting with some of the very Black folks that were responsible for getting him elected, which he ignored. He started ignoring the Black folks, like some of the NAACP folks and the Urban League and other organizations that really don't do anything for us here in the States. He agreed to meet with them via Zoom. And when he met with them via Zoom, he talked about and literally talked about racial inequality and so-called racial gains. And then he moved into the fact that America is doomed not just because of Black folks, but because he said Europeans are going to be the minority here in the United States come 2040. He said that. Not only that, your Democrat Senate leader, Mr. Schumer, said recently on camera in a presser that the reason we need to allow these millions and millions of illegal immigrants to receive legal status in the United States, he said that there is a certain population here in the country that's not producing babies like they're used to. Family, they're saying the quiet part out loud. And I'm emphasizing Joe Biden, who's a Democrat, and I'm emphasizing the Senate leader, who is a Democrat, because this is a common fear amongst white folks in all parts of government. And this is one of the reasons why we should not see them any differently than we do the Republican Party. Well, this piece here shows also recently that Kenya's foreign minister, Alfred Mutua, was demoted in Ruto cabinet reshuffle. And according to this piece, is saying that he was removed. The president said here in a statement late on Wednesday that the reshuffle was meant to, quote, optimize performance and enhance delivery as set out in the administration's manifesto. So they're trying to say that this was a performance situation, in other words. And they also stated that Mr. Mutua was really for these 1,000 or so police being deployed. And in fact, it says here, as foreign minister, Mr. Mutua was a vocal supporter of a Kenyan-led peacekeeping mission to Haiti. He recently said that about 1,000 police would be deployed, quote, within a short time. The UN Security Council approved the deployment of the force on Tuesday. I mentioned that earlier. There are many concerns and people on the ground that are not quite convinced that that's what's going to take place. And I thought it was just some interesting insight that now we are seeing a more aggressive push for Black soldiers to be deployed around the world to fight these wars. And of course, we have to say this is not just something that is unique to Kenya. But don't you also find it very interesting? For the past several years, I've been sounding the alarm that specifically it was Kenyan soldiers that the United States State Department spent $600,000 to study. I'm just saying. All you got to do is pull that up here. I've discussed it here on African Diaspora News for years and other platforms that I've been on. But most recently, I reminded us that the United States a couple of years ago spent money for that very thing. I'm just trying to connect some dots. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. Of course, these are developing things. I know that governments have to make some pretty serious decisions, but if there's some diplomatic scheme or plan that some of these African nations have in mind to make sure that the powers that shouldn't be don't overtake some of these countries, then I would think that would make sense. But I think it's important for us to discuss these things to make sure that we don't have any blind spots and to ensure that we are not unwitting accomplices to neocolonialism. I'm just saying. My name is Vicki Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. Be sure, beloved, to join my supernatural upcoming spiritual webinar, a date that's soon to be released. But in order for you to know and be alerted about it, you got to join my email list on my website at VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKIPLANET.com. The information I'm going to release about your royal bloodline is going to be second to none. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to go to VickiPlanet.com and share the broadcast here. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again.